Hush, for goodness sake, it's time for another Bogus Quote Break.
Hello folks, I've got another off-the-cuff report for you on a bogus quote. In this case, it's not so much though that the quote is inaccurate as that it's used badly out of context. Yesterday I had it out with a pretty wacky fundy atheist over this one, although it's an objection I've heard repeatedly over the years. It has to do with the fact that I and others use the testimony of the early church father Papias as a support for the authorship of Matthew and Mark. In reply to this, fundy atheists like to bring up this quote from Eusebius, in which he describes Papias as having limited intelligence. Apparently the idea is that if Eusebius says Papias is an idiot, then we can't trust Papias to have been smart enough to testify accurately to the authorship of Matthew and Mark. Well, let me nip that in the bud two ways. First of all, although fundy atheists aren't always honest about this, there's a specific reason why Eusebius insulted Papias this way, and it had nothing to do with the authorship of Matthew and Mark. As this fuller quote shows, the real issue is that Eusebius had a violent disagreement with Papias' eschatology. And if you think about it, since he clearly used Papias as a reliable source on the authorship of Matthew and Mark, it's kind of obvious that he didn't think Papias was too stupid to be trusted on that point. A second point is that what evidence we do have indicates that Papias had a fairly good idea what he was doing when it came to recording historical material. As explained in his book, Jesus and the Eyewitnesses, Richard Bauckham says that Papias deliberately uses the terminology of historiographic practice, and his language matches that of other classical historians who explained how they did their own research. Papias also indicates that he follows the proper steps associated with the practices of ancient professional historians. So, bottom line, this offhand insult by Eusebius isn't an easy shortcut for you fundy atheists to just wave off that testimony on Matthew and Mark without more detailed arguments. Try to do better next time. One more thing I'll add, although it's not really about a misused quote. Some critics also like to tar Papias for what they say is a ridiculous account of how Judas died. Well, let me just give you guys one hint. Try reading what Papias says the way you'd read this. That's all for now, although I'll be loading a special Christmas vid for everyone in a few minutes too. Until next time, this is JP Holding. See ya.